Leo, this is your week ahead astrology forecast by Astrology Motivation from Born Without Boundaries. In this video, I review the major planetary aspects and transits of this week, which is August 11th through the 17th, 2023. And then I tell you how all of that is impacting your natal sun and what that means for your bottom line. To understand this video and enjoy this message, all you need to know is your birth date. That's it. I'm going to translate everything else for you. We're going to start off really broad with the big stuff, like the current chart, what is happening right now, and what that could mean globally, though I will stay away from any kind of politics. That's not what the point of this is. The point is we're going to whittle things down into Leo-specific information, and then I'm going to break things down into the 3 decans of Leo so that I know how things are impacting your natal sun, which is really the overall purpose of this reading, so that you know all the big stuff, what's going on, and how it could personally impact you and affect your character, your motivation, your energy levels, your interactions with others, by letting you know how your natal sun is being impacted. Okay, so let's start out really big with the big stuff, Leo. I got it all written down. You know I take notes. I can't do this without taking notes. I just love taking notes. I got to write it down for it to get in here. We have a new moon in Leo. I'm happy because it is actually a very happy, optimistic, benefic, kind of almost flamboyant, romantic energy. That's on August 16th. It's happening at 23 degrees Leo. So holla! If you are Leo 3s, it is going to be conjuncting your natal sun. This is could be one of the most beautiful days of your life. Star-packed power. Definitely very powerful for all Leos to be manifesting on this new moon, welcoming in self-love, expression of your uniqueness, and new love based on you accepting all of your unique beauty in yourself. So a real new love based on real truth, because this new moon is also square to Uranus and trine to Chiron. We're welcoming change based on the crap that we've been through to get us here. We don't want the same things because we know better now. And maybe we've accepted ourselves better and accepted different ways to be beautiful, and that so we're going to find somebody that will feel the same about us. Right? This is such beautiful energy. I'm really psyched. This is going to happen on August 16th, like I said. During this moon, it's conjunct Venus. This new moon is conjunct Venus. It's so passionate. It's so romantic. It's so graceful. There's so much beauty that's going to be in this for you guys. Really attractiveness. This is a very, very romantic period. I'd be surprised if you guys didn't meet somebody new or have a beautiful love affair, even with the person you may have been with for 50 years. This is beautiful energy. And since all week, so during this new moon, Jupiter is square to Venus, which means everything is more exaggerated. You have this hugely optimistic energy of just indulgence and decadence, and there's just a lot of sensuality that is coming with this new moon, and I love it. I feel good about it. Excessive behavior, indulgence. Listen, if it's only for one day, not a big deal. We have other stuff going on this week, though. So all week long, Venus is going to be conjunct the sun. So all week long, that is going to impact you as well. It's your ruling dignitary. It's happening in Leo. This is very romantic energy. It is Venus retrograde, but it is very romantic energy. Maybe seeing the value and the desirability in things that you didn't the first time around. All week long, Venus is going to be square to Uranus. The sun is going to be square to Uranus and trine to Chiron. This is actually very self-accepting. It's claiming your independence, staking your independence, rebelling against old stuff that with the trine to Chiron, didn't work for you. It hurt too much, right? You learned the hard way. You don't want to see it happen again. Simultaneously, this whole week, Mars is going to be conjunct to Mercury in Virgo, which is a very, facetious energy. It's very pedantic energy, but oh my God, is it highly powerful and impactful. It's like digging your mind in through the nitty gritty and creating systems to get things done more precisely, effectively, and efficiently. But by the 14th, Mars is going to go into opposition with Neptune, which means that you could be acting upon delusions or perceptions of inadequacy or deficiency, as opposed to the realities of it. Could also drain your energy to a certain extent. Not you in particular, but everybody in general. And then by the end of the week, by the 17th, Mercury is going to be close enough to also be in opposition to Neptune. So it'll be Mercury conjunct Mars opposite Neptune. And that could be very, very easily deceiving. Like this is when the flim-flams have a ball, because it's easy to sell somebody tonic water as medicine, and it's bullshit. It's like distracting people with shadow puppets on the wall, getting them to like attack the shadows when somebody's really just fucking around with you. There's no danger at all. It's that kind of energy. So we need to watch that toward the end of the week and definitely throughout next week. That's a big old red flag. I'm just letting you know. I talked about Jupiter. By the 15th, Jupiter is going to be square Venus. So even just the day before, and the day before the new moon is the 15th, and the moon itself is in Leo from the 14th. So it's actually going to conjunct Venus perfectly. I think about 18 degrees Leo. The moon will conjunct Venus the day before the new moon. And then it'll conjunct the sun that's still in conjunction with Venus. So there's a lot of beautiful energy that's happening that's very romantic and dreamy and poetic. And it's just ribbons of moon drops. It's a very idyllic energy. And you guys are ground zero. So I love this. So let's broaden and let's expand, and let's get more specific, Leo, and we'll go into Leo specific energy. For this, I look at what's happening in Leo, which is a lot, and you can feel it all, I'm sure. And then what's going on with the sun? Well, the sun is in Leo too. This is a beautiful energy. I gotta tell you, holy moly, do you remember last Leo season, last year? It was shit. It was difficult energy. So this is like a complete 180 degree, like this is totally opposite. This is beautiful energy. What's going on in Leo? We have the sun, your ruling dignitary. It's moving between 8 and 24 degrees Leo, so it's primarily affecting the end of Decan 2 into Decan 3. The new moon is happening in the third Decan of Leo. We have Venus in retrograde moving from 21 degrees to 18 degrees, so she's sliding back into the second Decan of Leo. And then we have the moon that's entering Leo between the 14th and the 16th. The 16th at 23 degrees Leo, forming a new moon at about 5 a.m. where I am in Texas, 6 a.m. in New York, about maybe 3 a.m. out in Los Angeles. So it's wee hours of the morning. New moons are usually not that much of a spectacle anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. But that morning time is when it's really, really like the major impact. So if you're doing any manifestations, and you should, because this is very powerful for you guys, do it the night before, unless you want to stay up like to the wee hours of the morning. Your choice. The sun. This is going to be so beautiful that So the sun, what's happening with the sun? Well, it's forming a new moon. It's being conjunct the moon on the 16th, which is really tight energy. It's energy of, I trust myself. I know who I am. I belong to who I am. And that's what makes this new moon so powerful for you guys, because it'll culminate into, I present who I am. I'm ready for the world to accept me as who I am. I'm ready to let in new blessings based on my truth. The sun all week long is square to Uranus, which means it wants change, and it will. It's like you are determined to express your independence or individuality. You do not want boring things. And then a trine to Chiron, which is healing that sense of self, that harm that you've been through, even becoming, accepting, and healing of physical injuries, since Chiron is in Aries, could be very physical. And then we have that conjunction with Venus, which just makes the sun so romantic. It's like it glows rose pink. The sun is going to shine sparkles. You know, it's just so overbearingly, beautifully romantic, and almost flamboyant. It's almost flamboyant energy. Okay. Let's break things down into the 3 decans. So what is a decan? If you guys, it's the first time you're coming in. If so, subscribe to the channel and share this video so that you can share with the world how amazing these readings are. A decan is a group of 10 degrees. And astrologers break every zodiac sign. Every zodiac sign has a total of 30 degrees. Why? Because there are 12 zodiac signs, and the zodiac wheel is a circle with total 360 degrees. 360 divided by 12 is 30. There you go. So astrologers break down each zodiac sign into these 3 decans or areas so that we can get a read on how your natal suns are being impacted. By what aspect they're forming, what angle they're forming to other planets. Because it's that 10-degree range that really makes or breaks an aspect. And it makes for by breaking them into the 3 decans, it makes for a much more accurate forecast. This is not a horoscope. Horoscopes are horrible. So if you know that your natal sun, and how would you know? Because you have your natal chart, your birth chart. And if you want it, it's easy to get. It's free. You just go online and you type in free natal chart, free birth chart. There's a ton of websites that do them. And you need your birth date, time, and location. It's 3-dimensional here on Earth. And you'll need to know that information in a couple of seconds. You'll have your birth chart and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So your natal sun on the day that you were born was at a specific degree in Leo. If you know that your natal sun was between 0 and 9 degrees Leo, your natal sun is in the first decan, or the first group of 10 degrees of Leo, and I will refer to you guys as Leo 1s. Leo 1. Not a lot going on unless you're a cusps. You are still opposite Pluto, which means there is this dynamic gravity and authority to your character, especially making you especially relentless. A lot of change going on, a dynamic change to your character. Your natal suns this week are in a semi-square to Mercury. Mercury is going in its shadow period, right? It's in its shadow period right now. It's slowing down. So this semi-square could cause more trouble than a semi-square normally would. I wouldn't try to read anything important or do anything, sign anything important this week or take any important tests. You'll need a little bit more time to slow things down, especially with that mental acuity. Just an FYI, there could also be more likelihood of mistaken communications. Just an FYI. On the 14th of this week, your natal suns are going to be conjunct the moon at one point during the day. What does that mean? It's like your own personal mini new moon. So it's like feeling that sense of wholeness and completeness and self-acceptance before this new moon. It's like you guys have it lucky because by this new moon, you're prepped. You're going to know exactly what you want to welcome into your life new, because you've had this interaction with the moon a couple days before. Could also be very dreamy and psychic energy that day. That's reaching out and helping you connect. So, yeah, you let me know in the comments below, Leo 1s. Let's move on to Leo 2s. So Leo 2s, if you know that your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Leo, it is in the second decan of Leo. And I'll refer to you guys as Leo 2s. Your natal suns are going to be conjunct the moon on the 15th. So same thing, right? That sense of wholeness and complete acceptance of what you are. And also more psychic, emotional, but expressive energy for you. Your natal suns are going to be conjunct the current sun through the 12th of this month. Through the 12th. I wrote something down here I don't understand. I'll try to figure it out. What does that mean? More confidence, more vitality, and also a bigger chance to get seen and recognized or want to be. A lot more courage and self-expression. Your natal suns by the 14th are going to be conjunct Venus, which makes it extremely romantic on the 15th when the moon is at 18 degrees, especially if you know that your natal sun is at 18 degrees Leo, which is about sort of the 7th, 8th kind of energy, 7th, 8th of, I'm sorry, I forgot to give you your birth dates. Your birth dates, Leo 2s are somewhere between, I'll say, August 2nd and the 11th. That would be you guys. So if you know that your birthday is on 18 degrees is kind of around, say, the 7th or the 8th of August. Oh my God, what a romantically, beautifully expressive, ushy-gushy, lovely romantic day on the 15th. And then because Venus is conjunct your natal suns already, and then the moon is going to conjunct Venus perfectly at 18 degrees. And it's still in conjunction with the sun, so there's just this bright, beautiful energy around that day. At the very least, it's going to be very optimistic and very happy. You know, if no big thing happens to you, it's just a sense of easy happiness. And then we have square to Jupiter. Square to Jupiter all week long for you guys. This is wanting to move forward, being motivated, being optimistic. You could think a little too big for your britches, want to move too fast, but it's just curiosity, you know? So if you don't rush yourself and you just keep it as curiosity and open-mindedness, this is a great time. Just don't let it go into the area of entitlement or insistence. We have a trine to Chiron as well, which is especially for those of you born around the 9th, 10th, 11th. That trine to Chiron is healing old wounds, old sorrows, sadness, learning. You heal it by learning. You've learned the hard way, and now you're starting to see that the scab has formed and things are starting to clean up. And that's really beautiful energy. You're about 30 degrees from Mercury most of the week, which means that there could be some tension or friction when it comes to expressing yourself or communications, but nothing big to worry about. Let's go on to Leo 3s. If you know that your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Leo, it's in the third decan of Leo, and you are Leo 3s. Okay, so what does that mean? It's your natal suns that are conjunct this beautiful new moon, and it's just such a magical, romantic time. And like I said, at the very least, you guys are just going to be filled with joy and happiness. It's going to be almost overwhelming because the moon will volumize the emotional impact of it. This is a fantastic time for a new start, a fresh relationship, a refresher to your current relationship, getting out there, dating, being attractive, feeling your oats, indulging, celebrating, all of those things. Beautiful day to be seen. You'll be radiating beauty. So at the very least, this is a happy day for you. But definitely, guys, if you manifest, if you're into spell work, welcome this new love into your life. Whatever this new love is, new love for yourself, new love. It's just a time for something brand new to be born, and it's a very powerful manifestation day. Let's go through it. Your natal suns from the 13th on, especially cuspers, conjunct the sun. Your birthdays correlate to August 12th through the 22nd. Just an FYI. From the 13th of August on, your natal suns are conjunct the sun. When this starts, you'll just feel that rush of certainty about yourself. And then we have conjunct to Venus through the 14th, but you'll still feel her because she's still in conjunction with the sun, so the energy is still there. Romantic, graceful, elegant, and attractive. Wow. Very courageous, bold lover you'll be this week. You are conjunct to the new moon, which is on the 16th. All of you throughout the 16th, leading up to when the moon is conjunct the sun at 23 degrees Leo, your natal suns will get that preemptive conjunction themselves. Especially powerful for those of you at 23 degrees Leo. What would that be? especially I would say those of you born around, like, say the 12th, 13th, around there, estimate, maybe 14th, that new moon is going to be so, like just ask and you shall receive. Beautiful day for you. You guys, all of you are square to Uranus, but this is long term. You have been also long term trying to Chiron, especially if you're born between like the 11th and 12th. Especially powerful for you guys. That's long has been long standing, but now it has a direction because of the conjunction and the new moon. It has a direction, and it's welcoming in this beautiful new way to express yourself and way to be loved for that personal expression. Quincunx to Pluto and a quincunx to Neptune mean there's some frustration. There's spurs on your side when it comes to creating and moving the new into position. And then we have a trine to, but also very spiritual and very psychic energy. And then we have a trine to the North Node and a sextile to the South Node for the next 6 months, which means, oh, you want something new in your life. You're ready for it to change. You're turning a corner, and you're starting to get a lot more comfortable with what once upon a time was very uncomfortable to you. But it's not that uncomfortable anymore. North Node is feeling comfortable in your own skin and your independence, and sextile with South Node is this beautiful comfort and proficiency when it comes to finding a partner. You let me know in the comments below. I would love to know how all this is playing out for you guys, especially around that new moon. Please, please write. And then subscribe to this channel and come on over, follow me over to Born Without Boundaries Tarot for your week ahead tarot card message. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the videos. Bye, Leo.